a noble plan. I mean, who's going to say we don't want to see people have a roof over their head?
Right.
However,
where are they going?
Well, that's the thing. You got to have a place to put them.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
There was an article in the RJ this past week talking about, and I'm going to read you the headline. Bill calls for raising real estate tax to pay for low-income housing. And it's written by Taylor Avery in the RJ. And what he's talking about is up in Carson City, the legislature's meeting now. This is a dangerous time in the state when the legislature's meeting.
Yes, it is.
Every other year they do this.
There's a lot of proposed bills up there right now.
What they're doing is they're not talking about raising the actual annual assessment tax. They're not talking about the property tax. What they're talking about is the transfer tax. So only when you sell your home would this be an increase. And here's what they're talking about doing. They're talking about raising it. Well, the impact of the raise would be simply this. Let me just tell you what the impact, because the numbers are kind of foreign to people. So let me just tell you. If you have a home of $425,000 and you sell it, right now your tax, the seller, and normally the seller pays this transfer tax, not always, it's negotiable, would be $2,167.50. The raise would change that to $2,337.50, $170 in that transfer. That's the difference. So it would go from 65 to 85 cents per 500. But the money's going to be used for what's known as, what they're going to establish as the Critical Needs Fund, which will be used to provide assistance for very low-income housing and supportive services. The money in that account would be dispersed by the state's 5 behavioral health boards, and a minimum of 25% of the funds will be allocated to that region's own housing authority. The money would help extremely low-income people for rent or to stave off evictions, and people with serious mental illness or struggle with addiction could pay for rental services. They're trying to set it aside as that safety net for the people on the street.
Interesting.
They're trying to remove homeless people from our state. They're trying to give them, put aside some money so we can house them.
Okay.
Basically, that's the plan. Now, it's not as this is not nearly as impactful, I don't think. I mean, look, I don't ever want to pay more money for anything, obviously.
Right.
But
Nobody does.
If I'm going to pay another $170 in a $400,000 transaction, I'm not as concerned about.
Probably not going to be a deal breaker.
Probably not a deal breaker.
Right.
Indeed. And if it changes our calculations on how we do the math on a transaction, okay, we can fix that.
Right.
But ultimately, you're right. Does it get applied properly? That's the concern. Does the government use it the way they're saying they're going to use it? Or do they do something else? Or you've been listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now. If you ever have a question about real estate or any of the other topics we cover, just call me off air or text me at 702-203-1165. You can also check us out on the web at lvrealestateradio.com or on our handle on social media at LV Real Estate Radio.